Hey, so there's always one game that I refuse to play now, and that's because of, bad experiences, but it's also because if I try it again, I can't even finish the game. That game is Monopoly. So, basically, it started out when I was a kid. My mom would take me to her friend's house, and her friend had a son, and they're like, oh, you guys go ahead and play along. And he was like, oh, you want to play a game? And I'm like, yeah, what games you got? Like Sega, like Genesis, Super Nintendo? And he's like, no, Monopoly. I'm like, well, what's that? Is that a new system? And he pulled out like this board game. I was like, well, where's the controllers? Like, how do you play a game? Like, I didn't understand that you could play a game without like a TV and a controller. So like, we sat down and we played the game, and it never ended. But realistically, I don't think I've ever finished off of a game of Monopoly. Like, really, the game takes so long, and it comes to a point where one person just has all the money and everyone's just gonna slowly lose. And it's like, well, I guess that one person's kind of having fun, but even then, it's like, how are you supposed to come back from this game? But really, the game takes so long to finish. It lasts longer than Madonna's career, which pretty much is never gonna end. And whoever was the banker in the game always started slipping themselves money on the side, and that's kind of why I always choose to be banker now. But there's one thing that I wanted to do with Monopoly money, and that was to go to a stripper and be like, oh, you want some money? And just pay her with the Monopoly money, and then she'd be like, those are fake. I could say, so are your tits. And one thing that also irritated me, what was the point of these railroads? Like, you couldn't even like travel on them. Like, you should be able to go to like Star Road, if you remember that. But like, really, like, you should be able to travel on these railroads and actually do something, because they're just kind of like sit there. And another thing that was like, what do you do with it, was the free parking. Like, what is that? Like, why don't we just make it so when you land on free parking, you just lose, because, that'd make the game interesting. And it'd probably speed up the pace of the game just a little bit. Just have something so you lose, that's it, no more. How about everyone loses when you landed on it, just so the game ends faster. Another thing I never really liked was some of the pieces in Monopoly. Like, there's the boat, and then there was the dog, but there was the thimble. Like, who wants to be this? And then there's like the chance and community cards, which were basically the same thing, because either you get some type of advancement or you lose money. So realistically, I felt that they were the same. But why don't they have anything cool? Like with the chance, you should be able to get a chance to add a cannon onto your boat, and you could shoot the other players. Like, why wasn't that an option? Firing away, Commander. Attack Boardwalk. And besides, the boat was obviously the best piece. I mean, how do you put a boat in jail? Like, really? Like, the boat should be able to just bust free and be like, I'm a boat. And then after a few hours into the game, there's always one person that just has all the property, and you're like, you know what? I think you've won. I mean, I've got 2 places and they're in mortgage. And then the person's like, no, the game's still going. You could still win. No, there's no coming back from Monopoly. That's why. If we have that free parking spot, game over? Yeah, it's pretty much the only fun way to play Monopoly. But, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you guys next week.